for one more quest? Do him in the head, lol.
What was that? Oh. That's what you get, bud. Oh my god. My character got up too fast because he didn't he like paused in between doing his abilities. Which is something that seems to always happen with Arch-Tempered. Even though that doesn't happen with the normal one.
Wow.
Wow. Holy shit. Just stay on the ground. Don't get up. Need to get myself some crystal bursts so I can prevent him from going back to his base. A lot of people don't do that strat, but I was the wrong person to pick to die that. I have Feline Provoker on right now, so I'm constantly underneath his aggro. Oh, you bastard. Oh, good. Someone else did it. I need to get defense up. What am I doing? As much as I hate just casting buffs randomly, I really do need to get it up. I saw that coming. I hate that bullshit. One of the most annoying things about Monster Hunter World is those stagger attacks that they do. God damn it. I burnt my hand the other day, and there was like one of the blisters that forms from when you burn yourself, and I looked at the same place today, and it's completely gone. I don't even know what happened. Like, there's a little bit of flaky skin, but that's it. Yesterday, it was like a full-on bubble.
Wow, that's good.
Scrimmy Bingus. I've came across this guy before. Oh, it's a good old Scrimmy Bingus. What the fuck? He joined into the Nergigante I was doing the other day with my friend Taters.
LOL, what a name.
Scrimmy Bingus. That's a 10 out of 10 name.
Ready for one more quest?
That was a freaking poor shit. It pushed me into the hitbox even though I clearly rolled it. I hate to sound like Dark Side Phil. Well, this fight's not gonna go well. It always pisses me off when people go to do fights like this and they don't even try to consume buffs. Like, I'm looking at the buffs that are cycling through other people's, and the only buffs that they've gotten so far are from me. They didn't even consume a mega armor skin or a mega demon drug. I mean, I didn't either, but again, these are frickin' these kinds of idiots I'd be wasting them on. That's like the main reason why World of Warcraft started to remove all the buffs it had in it. Because people were getting too stupid and claimed that it just overly complicated shit. So it was just like, oh, we'll just take that out of the game then. And it's like, I feel like that's eventually going to happen with this game. Where it's like, they're just going to take out the buffs because the only people who use them are 4-team hyper try-hard Asian people that you just don't find over here. Besides on the gimmicky Monster Hunter YouTube channels. Like the guys that are like, we're 4 guys and we use the same exact shit. And we see how fast we can kill a monster that's stun-locked by traps. Isn't it so amazing to watch a monster die in like 2 minutes because all 4 of us are using dual blades, spamming blade dance, and have him locked? That's why they don't let you trap Elder Dragons, because people would just abuse the fuck out of it. And even then, they made traps have diminishing returns for that reason as well. No, use the health booster, you fuck. Grimmy Bingus. No, you fuck! That's why you put flinch free on a wide range build. So you can heal anywhere. What the fuck was that? He's lagging so bad. Is it my internet lagging? It doesn't say I'm losing bitrate.
No stream looks fine, it might be game host.
It's probably Scrimmy Bingus. Sounds like a character name I'd come up with. Or like a fucking Rick and Morty character's name. I'm Scrimmy Bingus. No retreating. Well, this is going to be bad.
Right.
Alright, he's enraged. Yes, lure him into this area. You're doing great work, Scrimmy Bingus. Stop. See, this is the thing that I hate, is when it's 3 guys in that hallway, and these guys are just gonna get smacked left and right. Every 5, yep. With a lance, it's fine, because you can block this shit. When it's 3 idiots with frickin' weapons that can't block, it's just an idiot zone. Come on, get away from the hallway, you fucking Nimrods. Good, that's what you deserve. Get away from the hallway, you fucking retards. Good, come over here. No. Don't go over to fucking dumb charge blade dumbass. Come over to me so we can not have people suiciding in a fucking tiny hallway.
You are a true
Fucking idiot. It's like I could have healed that guy, but he ain't ever gonna... No one's gonna learn when you baby them. One of them can block, but he has no block skills. He's taking almost full damage from it. Oh, he is guard level 3 and not 5, which means he still gets knocked back by half of it. Fucking Scrimmy Bingus. Of course, Scrimmy Bingus has the dances you have to buy on the store. I might even have that guy on my guild card list. I got up over 200 buffs and heals applied last night when I was playing with taters. But that was because I was using the might seed and the hard shell powder and all that stuff like crazy. We were playing this, not last night, but 2 nights ago. Dragon Bone Basher. I need to make honey.
Hi.
How's it going? Special daily bonus.
What platform do you play on?
What was that? What platform do I? PS4. You can buttons on screen. Then again, I gotta remember nowadays PS4 controllers are actually compatible with a lot of modern PC games.
Oh, sorry, didn't see it.
It's fine. I expect most people who are viewing on a mobile device anyways, you wouldn't even be able to see it. Plus I stream in 720, so...
Yee.
Excuse me. Actually, I think I might have enough to make everything I need. Wait, what was I? They need to put Dante's in new clothes.
Do you mean the hunting horn?
I guess you could say that. It's the thing I have the most quests completed with, but by no means do I main anything.
Oh.
If I can make the full set, I might as well. It's not like I'm ever gonna need more of these tickets. I normally don't make full sets, but... I have 5 of those tickets? I must have been helping someone. I don't remember doing the Arch-Tempered that many times in a row. Now we gotta organize it. I'm gonna be here a while.
How do you feel about Nurge Cougar coming back?
I don't know, but you just spoiled the fuck out of it for me. So, thanks. This is why I hate our modern generation of people on the internet, because they don't know how to shut up. Well, thanks. Now, me seeing it in the game ain't gonna matter fucking 3 or 4 months from now. So, big thanks. You didn't even consider that some people might like to actually figure stuff out when they're playing the game, because they're not a mindless fucking zombie that relies upon everyone else's information. Because everyone can't control them fucking selves, apparently. Thanks, bud.
Oh, I thought you already seen the trailer.
I don't fucking watch that shit because it's just all spoilers. I don't watch Dark Souls trailers for the same fucking reason. God damn, people. Just fucking annoying. Did you watch the trailer that's just all spoiler content? You want to see what shit looks like before it's even out so you can have a bunch of hype, and then when it comes out you play it for 12 hours? I've had fucking 2,000 hours on this character. I actually care about what comes out. No, I'm not excited about him coming back either, now that I know, because fucking more recycled content. Really? I can understand Rathalos, but make a new fucking monster for fuck's sake. There's fucking 10 copy and paste monsters already. Fucking Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate makes this game seem incomplete. It is incomplete, for fuck's sakes. Rotten Vale has 3 unique monsters to its locale. 3! And that's if you count Valhazak. I get so tired of people being hyped about, oh yeah, how about they bring Plesioth back so everyone can be so excited about that. How about they bring Gore Magala back? Oh wait, he already exists in this game. It's called fucking Nergigante. Except for he has thorns. Whoop-de fucking dip-de-doo. I hate the internet sometimes. I really do. I mean, I understand I stream and it would eventually happen anyways, but it's also one of the reasons why I don't normally have or didn't have text to voice on for the longest time. Because I can't stand how people are just like, did you see the new thing? Like, with Borderlands, I'll look up spoilers. Because Borderlands is something I'll play regardless. Because I don't play Borderlands for the story or the new content. I play Borderlands because it's a random loot generation simulator. The same thing with Neo.
Fish can rot at the bottom of the deepest
Monster
ocean.
Hunter is about the monsters. The second you spoil the monsters and the environment, half of the excitement is instantly gone. Because you know what to expect. Half of the fun of playing a Monster Hunter game for the first time is not knowing what to expect. Now everything nowadays is, oh, you already know what you're getting into before it's even fucking released yet. Because you watch the developers play it a month before it's even fucking out. I hope one of their streams goes fucking terrible one day and their new content that they're trying to show off just friggin' crashes. I hate being a pessimistic asshole, but I really hate this modern spoiler culture. I really do. People get so anal about Game of Thrones spoilers, but when it comes to a fucking video game, no one gives a shit. I don't give a shit about fucking Game of Thrones. I didn't give a shit about Breaking Bad. I didn't give a shit about The Lost. I don't give a shit about The Walking Dead or anything like that. The few things I've ever given a shit about, it always results in the same thing, where some guy could, all it takes is one sentence from a dude, and it's like, well, you just already know it's going to be there. So it's going to be an icy environment, and they're going to bring back a monster from a previous fucking game as one of the main monsters in this new fucking environment. Oh, it's so new! What a fresh experience! Get to watch it do the same 8 to 10 attacks with, you guessed it, a couple extra ones because we have more performance power now. Wow. It's gonna be fucking another Kushala Daora or Teostra all over again. At least Kieran was changed significantly over the previous games. Again, just down to more processing power. I swear to Jesus, fuck. If there are more duplicates than him in that DLC, I will not play another 500 to 600 hours of this. There's just no fucking point, because the people in the community are constantly going to be like, add this old monster back. Where's Rajang? Where's insert my favorite monster here in the next game? Why do the NPCs say Jaggy if there's no Jaggies? Because everything's an inside joke, caused by you, the community. Oh, we added Devil Joe back to the game. We took his unique mechanics out, though. Okay, great. So it's just fighting Anjanath with a different
What kind of monster
element.
do you want to be in the game later on?
And he does way more damage. Thanks. Thanks, Capcom Monster Hunter development team. You forgot what made Monster Hunter in Monster Hunter World the most out of any of the games. Monster Hunter Ultimate Generations is more Monster Hunter than World. Because at least in that game, fucking meat is still useful, because exhausted monsters function differently. It's not in this game, where a monster has to be in the specific eating state for you to put down meat, and only then, and maybe then, will they eat it, and even then, they normally have a higher threshold cap than the meat will do. So even if it eats the meat, it doesn't stun it, or paralyze it, or poison it on the first go. You have to do it twice in some cases, which is even more fucking bullshit. Also, sorry if I'm not doing anything in the game right now. I went out for a smoke. I'm a very, very salty person. And that's because this modern fucking... I don't even know what you would call it. This, like, trap mentality that everyone has, even when it comes to things that have nothing to do with it, just frickin' bothers the absolute shit out of me. The kind of people that are like, they talk a big game, you hold an earthworm in front of them and their entire life crumbles into an ash. I love it. I'm a 5'2", like, native dude. You could knock me over in 2 seconds and punch me to death. It's like, that doesn't matter. If your show of strength is kicking my ass, anyone can do that. I kick my own ass worse than other people can. It's so obnoxious, and like that ignoramus mentality literally ruins shit. It ruins things because people try to act smart about things that they don't think logically about at all. Dark Souls is one of those games where it's just like, the community has gotten so far up its own ass, I don't even think they realize the game that they play anymore. Like, I don't think they realize what it fundamentally is. Because they've changed what it fundamentally is. And now you have people trying to grasp at straws to call things in a group of a genre of game because they never played that genre before Dark Souls. It's that ignorance. That young kid, I know better than you ignorance. Even though the kid is fucking retarded and failed in school. But wait. You can't call them retarded nowadays because they'll get offended. And I'm just like, so what? Be offended. Rights don't mean shit. You can be offended all you want. You're just offended. There's a British comedian that did an entire skit based around that. It's like, what? So what? You're offended. What does that do? It doesn't do anything. It just proves that you're a little bitch. It just proves you're a little bitch, and you're being told you're a little bitch by a little bitch, which makes it even worse. That being me.
Okay, well, you have a nice night.
Peace out, man. Have a good one. I wasn't talking directly at you when I was saying that stuff either. I feel like I need to note that. Whenever I say you or them or they, I'm always just talking about people that I've met or people that I know or shit that I see online. I was watching a gardening video the other day from a dude named James Pergioni. And in the video, it was a video about transplanting tomatoes. And in the video, the dude like flips his little shears that he had in his hand. It does like a flip, and he catches it in his other hand. And like, my brain was so thrown off by the fact that he played the clip of the super hot rap battle thing where the kids are like, "Whoa!" and freaking out. And I'm just like, what the fuck has YouTube turned people into? This guy's trying to make a gardening channel educating people, and in the middle of the video, he flips his fucking thing and catches it and puts up a clip of like some fucking joke shit that like 40 to 50-year-old people watch YouTube for gardening. Only very seldomly do people like me or people from our current generation go on to YouTube to watch gardening. So this 40 to 50-year-old woman who's watching this 20-year-old guy on YouTube garden gets to see this clip of something that she doesn't even understand the context to. She's too old. She doesn't go to that part of YouTube or go to that kind of social media. It's just like, what the fuck? And I'm not trying to downplay the guy that I was talking about either. That's why I was like a little bit hesitant to say his name. But it's just so bizarre to me. Because the guy is really good at his videos and stuff like that. But simultaneously, it's like, no matter where you go, there's some amount of infectious ignorance. Preconceived bullshit. Like, in one of his videos that I had watched, he had talked about, he was talking about cucumbers and how if you let a cucumber plant ripen a cucumber fully to the point where the seeds are actually mature, it makes the cucumber plant not produce more cucumbers, which is 110% false. That is complete bullshit. If your cucumber plant stops producing cucumbers because it has a ripe one on it, that means your fucking soil is fucked or the plant is stressed out. I have cucumbers that I always leave the first fruit to get fully mature because the first fruit normally has the most well-developed seeds. If you take the last fruit and let the last fruit ripen, it's normally the most underdeveloped portion because the plant had put out like 20 to 30 of them. The first one is always the best one to get seeds from if you're trying to save your own.
Has just mostly been made up memes, and I kind of think, yeah, they're funny, but then they just get old.
And again, I'm not trying to downplay the guy. The guy has very generally useful information for most people. The thing he does say is to pick your cucumbers regularly, which is true. But the only reason why it's true is the same reason why you pick your tomatoes regularly. Or anything in your garden for that matter. Because the plant will, instead of putting energy into that fruit which is already ripe, it's putting energy into the unripe fruit. which is the logic that most people have. But colleges and multiple, like, universities have done studies and tests on plants where that's just not the case. Letting a fruit ripen does not slow down the other fruits ripening. It only does if you have deficiencies in the soil, which means the plant is having to pick and choose what it's sending nutrients to, because that's how a plant works. Especially if you have other plants nearby or grow a garden near a tree, because trees normally have a fungal system beneath the soil, and this fungal system will actually attach plants together in a network. And they will be able to tell each other different chemical signals to be like, oh, this giant oak tree, which has already flowered and fruited, has this excess nutrients. And the oak tree is very happy to give this excess nutrients off to other smaller plants around it. This is why grass normally grows thicker around other plants. Whereas the grass that's the furthest secluded out in the field is the grass that grows the slowest. Because it has the only network it has is with the other grass. Whereas when the grass is next to a tree or is next to some type of perennial that has a fungal-based root system, it will communicate with the plants around it through the soil. Again, the plants aren't literally communicating. It's all through chemical reactions via the fungi in the soil. People figured this out in the 90s and like early 2000s through doing field trials where they injected giant oak trees with radioactive carbon. It doesn't kill the oak tree. It's just there to give like a chemical signal that they can use to test around that area to see where the radioactive carbon goes. Because it can only go where the plants move it. And so after like not even within a month, I believe, they started to be able to test the radioactive carbon in the plants that were surrounding.
Okay, well, he got to go, so you have a good night, man.
Alright, dude. Have a good one. Look at that guy's call out for when he gets on a monster. Every day, you get bombarded by it. You can't avoid it. Middle of bumfuck nowhere, some guy's driving by with trap music in a rattle-ass car. There's a guy around here who's modified a PT Cruiser with a sound system and a fart pipe, as I call it. It's not even like a nice sounding exhaust. It's like it sounds like a fucking ricer. And although that's cool for racing, it is so auditorily annoying. The dude touches the gas and it's just like whap, bap, 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 and it's almost worse than a fucking two-stroke dirt bike. It's just so obnoxious. It could have been anything else, too. It's like a fucking PT Cruiser, one of the ugliest fucking cars that exist. The only thing worse would have been a Scion, like XB or something like that. But I'm gonna continue on what I was saying before. They had these plants, basically, for a while. And eventually, they were able to test the radioactive carbon as far out as the canopy as the tree went, basically. And then, after about a year, you could test the carbon pretty much all throughout the field past the tree. Because it had managed to transfer it, which another plant had transferred it, which then that transferred it to the one next to it, and so on and so forth. So all these plants had undergone or had the same chemical that they had originally put into one place, spread out through them. Effectively making it so everything in that area stayed somewhat alive, no matter what. In drought conditions, plants will work together to wick up water with the fungi in the soil. That's why plants can survive in giant forests without being watered for months. A plant that's next to a river can transfer water to a plant that is almost a half a mile to a mile away just via capillary action and its roots being soaked, which then soaks the fungi, which then the fungi transfers the water through its mycelium, which then that water transfers throughout the entire area where the mycelium stretches, and mycelium can be the entire forest floor. In most deciduous pine hybrid forests, the entire forest floor is a giant bed of fungi. And if you leave the forest and go out into fields, it will decrease in the amount dramatically over time. Or not over time, just like the further you get away from the mass. Or if like you find a road, a lot of the time the fungal system gets destroyed by road management. So you get these separated areas of forestry where sometimes the fungal system is completely killed off. And that means plants can't communicate properly, which means plants have to rely upon their own self to regulate nutrients. And some plants aren't good at doing that. Some plants are actually way healthier when grown next to other plants, even if they're getting less sunlight because of it. This is the reason why Amazon rainforests are packed with foliage from the top down. Because even the plants that get fully shaded by everything else still get nutrients that allow them to green without them needing a vast amount of sunlight. It's the same thing that happens in the woods. That's why the sweetest berries on berry bushes come from berry bushes you find in an open cut in a section of woods, where it's just like one tree fell over like 30 years ago, and it's just this rotted stump with berry bushes growing out of the sides of it. And the berry bushes probably get maybe an hour or two of light a day, but they have way sweeter berries than the ones where you have them out in a bright area where they get sun all day long. Because those ones don't have that established fungal system from the trees around them. And those trees will feed those berries. The fungal system is also what keeps plants alive in the northern hemisphere, despite having incredibly low temperatures near their roots. Because it acts as an insulative layer of bioactivity, which gives you artificial amounts of warmth, even on a very small scale, is very dramatic. And I accidentally figured that out firsthand because I had a native rose that I was trying to clone in a container, and it did great all last year, and I left it in the container outside thinking, Oh yeah, it's a native rose. The native ones around here, they can survive the fucking worst shit ever. They grow as far north as Quebec. Like, there's no way that it would die to cold. Come spring, like a month ago, I noticed it had a giant split down the stem where the ice had obviously penetrated all the way through and froze everything to do with the plant solid to the point where the actual, like, inside the texture of the phloem and stuff like that burst. And so it literally looked like the plant got... someone took like a razor blade and just went right down the side of it. And the ones that were in the ground that were 1 feet away from it, even though they were little tiny clones too, the ones in the ground were perfectly fine. Even the little stump of a stem that I buried in the ground last year started to send up shoots this year when it came to spring, because I guess it put down roots. But the one in the container died. No new growth, and when I pulled the root system out, the roots were completely black, no brown or light tan color to them, indicating that the roots had gotten freezer burnt, basically. I learned that if you're going to keep anything in containers in my climate, you can't keep it outside. Or if you do keep it outside, you have to bury the container itself. And then put mulch in a very thick layer over the top of whatever plant you're trying to keep alive. And then come spring, you just unbury it. Once the ice thaws off the mulch. But that's like a lot of fucking work. So, in order to keep something alive, the best thing to do is to let it go into a state of dormancy early in the fall. So, the second it starts to show signs of dormancy, you leave it outside and you put it in a progressively more shaded area. And then around the time, like November, December-ish, you can pull the plant inside before the container is frozen. And if it's going to be like a heavy freeze, you bring the container inside as well. And then put it back outside during the day when it's only 40 to 50 degrees out. Because you want to trick the plant into thinking it's getting a little bit longer of a season. And then when most of its leaves fall off, you just take it inside and leave it. I don't know why I keep hitting Legiana. Got it. Nailed it. Oh, that was just sweet. Come on, Chippo, give me a cheer bongo. What the hell? I've never seen him leave there.
LOL.
Now I guess I gotta look up the frickin' Monster Hunter trailer now that I already know what's in it.
No, don't.
We can go gas. I think I touched something that was in the dirt. Because I have like this spot on my face where there's like a couple of these like really almost feels, they're not itchy or anything, but they're like, you can clearly tell they're inflamed. They look like red bumps on my face. But it's not itchy. That's the weird part.
I'll hug.
Sequoiadores? Sequoiadores? What? Friggin' Spanish tail raiders? This is why when people say Tempered Valhazak does a lot of damage, I like laugh a little bit, because it's like, I don't know if we're playing the same game. I'm not even that heavily buffed and he barely scratched me. I don't even have Divine Blessing or anything on. If I had it on, he literally would have hit me for negligible chip damage. That would have been healed in one swing of my sword. That's gonna hurt, though. You... Oh my god. Button mashing delayed user. Damn it. The thing is, in that situation, if I had the slower charging greatsword, I actually would have been better off. Can you stop? Nope. Because people keep standing so far spaced out and you keep swapping aggro. Aw. Damn it. Oh yeah, he's real hard, this Tempered Valhazak, that hits me for literally slivers of HP. An uncharged hit healed the amount of damage he did to me. Only have 486 defense. No, why would you flash that? What in your brain thinks that that was good to flash? He was gonna be open to hit. You fucking idiot. Some people are just so stupid. I can't even conceive of why he would have wanted to do that. Like, is this your first time fighting him? Did him doing that scare you? Like, jeez, bud. One second. I'm gonna loot this first. Be right back real quick. Sorry, I wanted to see what those bumps on my face looked like. Kind of reminds me of when I had shingles at a young age. I always jokingly tell people to be wary of touching me or being around me, because it's like I've probably had just about everything you can get before the age of 20 and stuff like that. I don't even want to imagine how much potential I would carry to, like, because I'm immune to half of the bullshit in my body. If I, like, touched someone the wrong way, if I didn't, like, sanitize my hands or something like that, I could very easily give someone else, like, 3 sicknesses that they've never had before. Marshmallow. Blame the devs. Oh shit, that actually hit me still? Go away, nerd. I should have sharpened my weapon. Oh, damn it. Well, I haven't done a solo thing in a while.
Are you okay?
Sorry, I forget that that loads instantly. No! Why is Bagel always here? Why can't Blue Guy be here? come on. I should have sharpened my weapon first. I always do that. God damn it. I thought the fireworks would set it off, but I guess I didn't place it close enough or whatever. I didn't have any slinger ammo. And of course it's gonna zone out. Yeah. Making my fucking affinity booster pointless. No, climb up. And now I'm gonna get hit by it. Can you just not roar 3 to 4 times in a row, Basil? Please. For once. If you do not fuck the fuck off, I will take time out of this 30-minute quest to kill you, Bagel. I will. Don't even try me. Get out of here, bub. I don't have a flash pod, so I have to just go up there. Oh, I guess I could have looted it. Hold on, I gotta grab something else to snack on. Shove in my face for a second. Did I eat them a while ago or something? Can't remember what I did with them. They must be on the bottom somewhat. I'm not gonna go through it all now. Sure, I'll be right back. 1 second. Also, my analog stick. What the hell was that? I like teleported. One second. Alright, I found what I was looking for. Let's grab them and get them open. Still smells fine. I think these older ones are better than the fresher ones. Woo! How cold they are is making my teeth hurt, though. It was a pickle, if you're wondering. If I didn't say it already. I make homemade ones, and I couldn't remember if I had eaten or finished eating the ones that I made last year. I mean, you can probably hear it. These are a lot crunchier than what you're going to buy at a grocery store. Hold on. I'll try and hold the mic. It's a lot thinner of a pickle as well. Those weren't from my cucumbers, though. I should mention that. Those were a friend of mine who had a bunch of them. Or I shouldn't say a friend of mine, a friend of the family's. They gave it to people in my family, and then they were like, well, we're not going to do anything with them, because most people in my family are shit, and they'll just let fresh produce that someone gives them sit in the fridge for 3 weeks, and then go, oops, it got moldy, and throw it out. That's why I eat so much raw food, is just because I got so obsessed when I was younger of making sure that half of the shit that people would give us didn't go to waste, so I'd eat. Like, my neighbor would grow, like, peas and other things like that. I'd eat probably, like, a bag full of those things. Like, a small plastic bag, like, from a grocery store. One of those full, I'd eat it in, like, 2 days. I've always been a mostly raw food kind of guy. Plus, raw food just gives a slower release of carbohydrates and other things like that. It's way better for your body to have to process something with sugar in it that's a part of the structure of it, versus if you take a spoonful of sugar and add it into your coffee. Even if you add in the same amount of sugar that's in the apple, the sugar in the coffee is going through you faster. Not only because the coffee is a mild diuretic, which, if you don't know what that means, it basically means to... Basically, it helps get water out of the body. It encourages the like part of the circulatory system in your body that cycles out old and new electrolytes. And it just so happens that if you don't add electrolytes into your coffee, then when you drink the coffee, you're just decreasing the electrolyte content in your body, which is what makes you get dehydrated from drinking 3 to 4 cups of coffee. Even though you've been drinking stuff. That's just how that works. What's up, Raw? How's it going, man? I'm just over here mumbling and eating stuff. Sorry. But I'm gonna go out and have probably my last smoke for the night and then play for a little bit more and go to sleep. Just because I'm really tired. I've never been one to flood myself with sugars. Or try to anyways. I mean, I do eat and drink sugary stuff sometimes. I mean, I drink soda on a regular basis.
No problem, man. I'm just about to start making a Lego set.
A what? Hold on, let me read that. A Lego set. It's been a while since I've done anything like that. Whoops. Got my hummingbird feeders up today.
It's only small, it'll take like 10 minutes, but saw you were streaming and wanted to keep you company.
Do hummingbirds exist in Australia? I know that probably sounds like a weird question. Or a stupid one, but I honestly don't know. I find it funny that out of all bird species, people love caring for hummingbirds. Like, I know people around here who put up hummingbird feeders that don't even take care of their dog properly. And I just think that's so funny.
They definitely do.
They buy a container of pre-made nectar from one of the big box stores because they're too lazy to make it themselves, or if they make it themselves, they make it ignorantly. When people make hummingbird nectar out of frickin' tap water, I cry every time. Tap water has chlorine and sometimes even chloramines in it, which is what gives tap water its tap water smell. You put rainwater or spring water in a bucket, it's not going to smell like much. You fill a bucket with tap water and you can smell the chlorine coming off of it. And if you are going to use tap water, you have to boil the tap water for at least 10 minutes before using it in making nectar. Because you're basically making plant nectar. It has to be pure sucrose. So you have to use pure granulated sugar. Contrary to what some dumb nardle dangers are doing nowadays, where they're like, oh, well, I shouldn't use refined sugar in this. I should use some natural sugar. And it's like, no. Brown sugar is not what occurs naturally inside of a flower. It's only sucrose. Maybe sucralose and a little bit of dextrose in some specific plants, but normally it's just pure sucrose. So it has to be pure granulated sugar. It can't be fucking raw brown sugar or something like that. That's terrible for them. It actually messes with them. Because they just drink straight nectar all day. They don't get proteins or anything like that for the most part. They had some lower quality hanging baskets on sale, so I bought them to make clones, and I'll just fill it out more properly. They do. I didn't know if it was like one of those weird things where it's like Australia has a lot of diverse animals, but there are some times where it's just like, yeah, it just doesn't have this kind of animal which exists everywhere else in the world. So I didn't know. They didn't seem like the type to be able to fly over oceans, but they could have evolved there separately. I didn't think a hummingbird would be able to survive those kinds of climates, but then again, they probably live in the more temperate areas anyways.
Oh no, sorry, I looked it up. We don't however here are species that resemble hummingbirds, which is why I was thinking we do.
I was gonna say, they're very distinct. They call them hummingbirds just because of the sound that they make when they're flying. They're one of the only birds that possess multi-directional flight on demand. They can go backwards, forwards, left and right, because the stroke of their wing is in the shape of infinity. They do 8 shaped wing strokes instead of up and down. They pretty much push upwards like thrusters more than they use them like actual wings. Although they do use them like wings when they try to fly in a direction really fast. Oh. Damn it. Oh. Oh my god, please can we stop fighting him here? Please can you morons not fight him in the tiny corner? Why do people do this? I swear. It's like people like being fucking hit over and over again because you can't do anything about it. I'll just stand here and wait. Awesome, you're moving? Cool. Thanks. You don't have to deal with these idiots. Goodbye, idiots. Sorry. That was an obnoxious sound. Man, cold, acidic things are a great way to give yourself, like, tooth and brain freeze without even trying. It's just a friggin' pickle, dude. But it's giving me like the pain you get when you eat something way too cold, way worse than ice cream even does. It's because it was in the way back of my fridge. Even though stuff wasn't frozen, it's like on the brink of being frozen. Woo! Funny thing is a lot of pickles that you buy in the store actually have the same chemical in them that they use to unthaw ice on roads in order to preserve them, even though pickles preserve really well. If you make a vinegar-based brine for a pickle, they will last forever. It's what keeps hot sauces. Sure, they might change and smell a little bit, and they might get a little soft in consistency. Mine haven't, but store-bought ones might. Store-bought ones are already a little bit soft in their consistency, because they not only have the cucumbers been there for a while, but they cut the tips off the cucumbers during the production of the grocery store, like jarred pickles that you buy. The cucumbers always have the ends chopped off normally, and if the ends are chopped off when you make the spears, what happens is if you don't immediately put it into the solution, the actual moisture from the cucumber will leak outwards and it will absorb more of the like vinegar brine. But even though that sounds like a good thing, it actually makes the consistency of the pickle way more squishy. You get less bounce to it. Whereas if you leave it with the full skin intact, you get a lot more crunchier of a pickle, but it has less of a potent bite to it. But yeah, when you buy store-bought pickles, the preservative that they use to keep the pickles good on the inside is called calcium chloride. It's the same chemical they use around here to treat road surfaces. I have a pail outside, like a 5-gallon bucket, that's just calcium chloride in a bucket, which is used to de-ice the road, or de-ice your driveway when it's iced over. It unthaws ice down to negative 25 or something like that Fahrenheit, which is like negative 32 to 35 degrees Celsius. Sorry, I'm just taking a toke real quick. Hope my pickle fingers didn't affect anything. Pickle rat. I'm not gonna do it.
Hello, Commander.
I saw you were playing Mad Max earlier.
It's good but depressing, lol.
Maybe the story's good, but I can't handle Batman combat. Same reason I didn't really enjoy Shadow of Mordor and games in that series. I thought those games were very shallow. They're just like, that combat system is a delivery mechanism for a story, which I don't like. It's like Mad Max, but you get out of your car and punch dudes to death. It's like, no Mad Max machine guns like half of the fucking crazy vehicles should have? No, of course not. Nothing like that. Borderlands has better Mad Max weapons than Mad Max has in it. The car and the driving is cool, but it's just like, it becomes more of an annoyance later on to have the random encounters and shit. Well, not random, but like, you know what I mean. Oh yeah, that's right. It always makes you go that way for whatever dumb reason.
How is the weather?
Over here? Pretty bad. What? I wanted to worlds collide him so bad. Worlds collide. By fire be purged.
What does Sonic Blades do?
It does a screamer pod. It's useless on every monster that isn't Diablos. No, don't. Oh, I should have been out of range of that. Fork off, bud. You ain't skooking me. You skooker. Look at how many buffs I have right now, dude. Oh yeah, got it. I thought he was hitting his chest and not his head. It was so hard to tell from that.
You're a bodybuilder. Being so buff.
Get out of here, Gyros. Great douchebag. That should have hit him with the splash. Come. Are you... You fucking stupid lizard. No, get jebaited. That one just popped out of nowhere. I mean, I'm hanging in here, Chippo. You can come over and help me whenever you feel like it. My weapon doesn't have a health regen augmentation on it, so...
What's your opinion on the boat?
Go play Horizon Zero Dawn, not Monster Hunter. Play Monster Hunter to smack stuff with a big sword. You only play ranged if you want to give your buddy a buff. That used to be Monster Hunter up until this game. Where this game is like, what if we make using ranged weapons like playing a shitty third-person shooter? Where you're intentionally slow so that you don't break the game. And even then, you're still faster than other things, and it's still the most overpowered shit that you can do. Because you don't have to be next to the enemy to hit them with good damage. It's the whole reason why Colve is ran with fucking ranged shit. It just defeated the purpose of the game. Half of the people are like, I can't wait for a new monster to spam elemental ammo at. It's just like, get the fuck out of here, bud. No one, like, you clearly forgot what made Monster Hunter popular even to play in the first place. It wasn't even that popular until Monster Hunter World came around. Oh, wrong thing, dingus. Dingus McChamberlain. Would you go away? What are you even doing here? That should have hit him.
Honestly, ad code is a lot tougher if you only use melee.
Only is if you're bad. The ranged weapons made it too easy to be good at this game for all of the wrong reasons. Even Monster Hunter fucking Generations got it correct. Where it's like, ranged isn't broken, it's more utility.
Another group gets your rewards WTF.
I don't know, get good with the 2 to 3 weapons that make you basically unhittable. That aren't press R2 to win and be an utter snooze fest and then wonder why you only play the game for a couple hundred hours. This is the thing I hate when people are like, I only play longsword. I'm like, you're a fucking dunce cat. You're like the reason why people say that certain weapons are useless, because you're just like, if a weapon doesn't have a foresight slash, it's just not good. I want my Sakura slash. And then you have people who are like, Charge Blade guard pointing is the only real skill thing in the game. Guns are put in this game and were adjusted to be more user-friendly to make more people want to play this game. Because people see that comparative to the actual weapon play, and they're like, oh, that's so easy, of course I can do that. And then they're like, oh, but I have to manage my ammo. Gross. I love the idea of a Monster Hunter bowgun. If they existed in real life, the cartridge in which holds all the rounds would be this giant circular meticulous cylinder. Because your character just shoves ammo into it. There's no you you swap to a bunch of shit. I guess it's all in like a little radial thing, I guess. I used ranged weapons. I used... do I still even have the build? Oh yeah, down here. I had this for Colve in the last phase. $510 ice. With critical element. Oh my.
If in doubt, take a bite.
Yeah, 'cause you looking like a snack. Chomp. Chomp. Hold on, do I have a... I don't have a tempered Nergigante. Why do I have a tempered Teostra but not a Nergigante? See, look at that 5 reward, dude. And the upsurge in pearl oysters. I can show you where that is, even though this is only a 15-minute quest. The upsurge for pearl oysters, which gives you the special pearl. Probably one of the canteen items you're missing, because it's way out of... It's way out of where you would normally be when you're trying to go through these zones. I had to look up them all back when I was at it around... I think back when I did that, it was like 100 hours, and now... looking at my save, it's like, oh, you're 1990 hours into playing this game. It's like, fuck me. Right in the Agnes. Right in the Uncle Agnes. So the pearl oyster's in this little cave up over here. Right here. This is a special item that only spawns during upsurge pearl oysters. That's why it only gives you one. You can also fish in here. I think that was a great fish in there. They always spawn them when you have a 15-minute mission. Never when you're just on an expedition. Oh, and these two are just casually going at it. Let's not join them. What? I was up there. He wasn't there. Whoa. Oh yeah, I didn't go right out of spawn because I wanted to show where the frickin' pearl oyster was. Hi. Run! Oh, fuck, it didn't. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? No. Whoops. No, you're a cheater! Cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater. Snot shot, mate. It's like pressing triangle with a great sword every hit with a gun lance. The only thing you don't get is super strong flip attack. Besides that, this is... Every single time you do this, that's a great sword triangle. It's actually more. He's not a tier 2 monster, though. He's a tier 1 monster, so... No chance for augmentations, but... Damn it. That one was almost too early. Murderizing him. He's getting destroyed. Oh, I didn't get to let out the explosion. I was too close. Smoking sexy style. Smoking sexy style. Certain monsters in this game, I can completely understand why certain people fall in love with the charge blade. If you get good enough at it, you're basically just the counter god. And I wasn't even taking advantage of some of the good counters I got, because out of a counter you can go straight into the super axe attack, which lets out the files. But again, with certain monsters, it's better to just rail into them with the normal sword charge moves, because that slap on the sword, the extra impact damage, like you saw, you can just trip and stagger the monsters all day. It used to be even better before it got nerfed. It's still good even though it is nerfed, but it was way better before. Not even for damage. But a lot of people used it for damage, because you could like easily hit 100 damage per file, and you could do like an attack that was basically 1,600 to 2,000 damage, and half of it was like armor penetrating, so it didn't matter what part of the monster you hit. That's why in that fight with Diablos, instead of getting closer to him to try and hit with everything, like the axe head and all the stuff, I'll just snipe out the files from a distance. And I do that because, like you saw, sometimes when they go to do charges or other things like that, if you know they haven't been staggered or stunned recently, you can probably predict that the next thing that you're going to hit them with that's decent damage is going to stagger them. It's risky, but that's how I like playing that weapon. I prefer to throw the files out, since that's something you can actually do in this game. In all of the previous games with the charge blade in it, you'd use your shield charge when you casted it out, and you had to recharge the shield. So you had to generate 5 files, put it into the shield, generate 5 more files to then do the super amped, which then took away your shield charge, so you had to get 5 more, and it was basically, you had to do 2 full file to the 5 every single time you wanted to do one, and it just wasn't efficient, because having the shield charge is so good for defense and guard points, because you don't get knocked back as far, and it makes you take less stagger. Because I don't have any guard skills on that build. That was just the default blocking capability when you have a charge. Sorry, lost my voice there for a second. When you have a charged shield and you guard point with it, you get reduced stagger on a lot of attacks. So it basically acts as if you have level 2 or level 3 guard. I can't remember what it is. And then if you actually have guard, it'll increase that further up to a certain point. It'll make pretty much most attacks, outside of a couple special ones, only knock you back a little bit so you can counter afterwards. To be honest, I'm surprised I was even able to play it that well right now. I'm going to get off, though, after I'm done smoking this cigarette, just because I'm starting to get a headache. I'm staring at the screen for too long. Because I was focusing so hard, and I never realized how hard I focus until I blink afterwards. And then it's like my eyes feel like I had frickin' sandpaper on them. It's also because I'm really tired, as you can probably hear in my voice. I spent up my last bit of energy earlier ranting about shit. And I'm probably a little bit dehydrated as well. But yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow. Peace out, everyone, and thanks for stopping by.